We're finally here. We made it to the place which I've been trying to get everybody to come here for a very long time. Welcome to Space Between Ideas. I'm Blaine Gates. Welcome to Motivation Central. The idea is that sometimes you have social scientists or physicists in this case that try to break things down into meaningful units of thought. And what does it mean to have a meaningful unit of thought? And then can you break it down smaller? Perhaps having a meaningful unit of thought means that you don't really break it down any further because you found some kind of foundational element. And Thomas Buckholtz, he is doing research about physics, and he is talking about the elementary particles. What is the smallest unit of understanding that we currently have in science from a physics perspective? The elementary particles. And then what are elementary particles made up of? Nothing. You can't, because that's what it is. It's an elementary particle. It's the element. It's broken down to its smallest unit of measurement or its smallest unit of meaning. This is the concept, and it's so hard to get people to have a conversation about. If you go to the book Create Crucial Insight, you go to the chapter, it's called State Purposes, and it's so difficult to have a conversation with people about elementary particles. How do you make it more interesting? How do you make a discussion about the elementary particles? What they did in physics is they cheated. They used the word string theory. They said, oh, it's a string and it vibrates and it's like so crazy. Oh my goodness. It's like, what? That's some marketing. That's nothing about reality. That's just marketing. If you go turn to page, whatever the page it is when you buy the book, and you're going to see 3 categories of purposes or motivations. These 3 categories are the endeavor elements. At the beginning of the book, Tom clearly expresses that when you want to merely survive, or if you want to thrive, in any case, we're talking about the result. If you want improving results over time, then you need to focus on the endeavor elements. These are the foundational elements. One is potential. To have potential, it means to be able, it means to see how things will change. And then agendas, it's to organize in order to make that change. And then effects, it's to act, to do the actions in order to implement that change. Where should we make a change? What happens when we make a change? How could we change? Change, the whole idea of change is that there is some potential, and then you have to go ahead and model that change. In the chapter called State Purposes, you see these 3 categories, and it's so hard. I always try to talk through these sentences. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 sentences. We could start with the agendas because that one seems pretty easy. Let's start with the low-hanging fruit. So next to agendas, there's 2 ideas. One is optimize risk-taking or exposure to risk. The other is gain goals, purpose, or a sense of direction. And okay, so if Tom's watching this video, he's like, hey, you're telling everyone the content of my book. This is copyright material. And like, for me, after I spoke to 300 people about this, I'm like 299 out of the 300 people slept through this section. Sleep. So it's like, okay, so now you're hypnotized. And I don't know, like people who watch my channel, are you people who are mainly focused on agendas? People who are thinking, these are people who like to measure risk, right? So like if we talk about optimized risk taking and exposure to risk, what's the difference between the analyst, the coach, like that category of thinking, and the making decisions area? Because often the manager is also the coach and is also the analyst. It's the same person, but they're playing the role of the thinker and they're making the decision. In that case, I would say that optimizing risk-taking or exposure to risk is an executive process. It is about making a decision, because the word optimize your risk, that is making a decision which optimizes risk. It's also the thinking category. If you're doing coaching like I do, or if you do business analyst, which I'm learning how to do now that I've learned one set of thinking tools, and then another set of tools seems to be quite similar in many ways. The thing is that I'm interested in that idea. I love agendas. I like making plans. That's everything that I do when I talk to people is we go through what is your actual project. And then we have like 20 different tools or more. And then we make custom tools to basically put your ideas into boxes, just like this. In this case, if we talk about you're really motivated to optimize risk and exposure to risk, it means you're not going to be happy as like grunt, like just follow habits, follow processes, do what's been done before. You're not like an innovator. People who love plans, they're not really the innovators. If there already is a plan, right? If you want to look at those people who are the hands, they're mostly the next category up. There's a section called effects. One of the endeavor elements is called effects. And so, for example, it says have satisfying experiences or relationships. Those are salespeople right there, have satisfying experiences or relationships. I would love to go around and golf all day. Those are really key areas, is this area of effects and the area of agendas. To understand if you are the kind of person who loves to put together plans, who loves to create goals and visions. So agenda, you can see it has some connection with a vision. And effects also has some connection with the vision. People who are heavy on the left side, the making decisions and thinking tools and analysis, they're super focused on what? Effects, agendas. Where are we going? How are we going to get there? But then, oh, wait a minute, there's also this area of potential. So it makes it a little bit more confusing. I'm going to keep doing some thinking about this, and I'll catch you in the next one.